How often have you thought, I really need to learn something new, but I just don't have the time? If you are like most of us, that thought pops into your head, you shrug it off and move on, right? But what if I told you this? You don't need hours in your day, you don't need expensive courses, heck, you don't even need to be particularly motivated. All you need is 15 minutes a day. Yes, just 15 minutes. That's less time than most people spend scrolling through Instagram or waiting for their coffee to brew. And I promise, if you stick with me, I'll show you exactly how you can use those 15 minutes to build skills that could change your career, your confidence, and maybe even your life. Welcome to Course Correct, your upskilling partner. Here's the thing about 15 minutes. It's small, but it's mighty. And there's science behind it. Researchers from the University of California found that short, focused learning sessions help your brain absorb information way better than cramming for hours. It's something called spaced repetition. Basically, your brain likes small doses of information that it can chew on and revisit later. Think of it like watering a plant a little every day instead of flooding it all at once. And this approach isn't just scientific, it's personal. Let me share a quick story. A couple of years ago, I decided to learn data analysis. I was working full time, had no idea where to start, and honestly, I felt a little intimidated. So I said to myself, just 15 minutes today, that's it. I watched a quick video on Excel formulas. The next day, I practiced creating a pivot table. By the end of that week, I'd only spent about 2 hours, but I already felt like I was making progress. 3 months later, those tiny steps had added up and I was solving real problems at work with the skills I had learned. And I'm telling you, if I can do this, you can too. Alright, so let's talk about finding those 15 minutes. Here's the truth, you already have them. They're just hiding in plain sight. Think about it. How much time do you spend on things like scrolling on social media, binge watching content, or even zoning out? According to a study, the average person spends over 2 hours a day on social media. That's wild, right? Imagine if you took just 15 minutes of that and redirected into something that actually helps you grow. One tool that's been a game changer for me is the ScreenZen app. Now, if you haven't heard of it, let me tell you, it's a lifesaver. It's like a gentle nudge every time you are about to waste time. For example, whenever I try to open Instagram, ScreenZen asks me if I'm sure I want to do this. It gives me 5 seconds to decide, and that's enough for me to decide to actually do something productive instead of scrolling through Instagram. And it feels so good knowing that I'm using my time wisely. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty. How exactly do you use those 15 minutes? Here's the game plan. Break your day into 3 parts: morning, midday, and evening, and fit in 5 minutes at each. Now the morning is all about setting the tone for the day. While you're having your coffee or waiting for the bus, take 5 minutes to skim something educational. It could be a LinkedIn article, a quick blog post, or even a headline summary from a newsletter like Morning Brew. Here's what I do. Every morning I pull up LinkedIn and read one post about a new trend in my industry. 5 minutes, that's it. But you know what? It gets my brain working and it gives me something to talk about in meetings. It's like a small mental warm-up for the day. Now let's talk about lunchtime or your commute. This is your golden opportunity to dig into something deeper. Watch a 5 to 10 minutes YouTube tutorial, listen to a podcast, or take a bite-sized lesson from a course on Coursera. Now when I was learning public speaking, I'd use my lunch break to watch short videos on how to structure a presentation. One of those videos taught me a simple tip about storytelling and I used it later that week in the meeting. The feedback I got, wow, you nailed that. That's the kind of impact a quick focus session can have. Now the evening is where the magic happens. Before you wind down for the night, take 5 minutes to practice what you've learned. Write one line of code, rehearse a new way to introduce yourself. Or if you are into journaling, jot down what you learned that day and how you plan to use it. For me, this was a game changer. When I was learning Excel, I made it a habit to spend 5 minutes every evening trying out one formula. It sounds so small, but those 5-minute sessions added up to a whole new skill set in just a few months. All of this is easier said than done. Now let's address what actually blocks us. There are 2 major blockers: procrastination and overwhelm. Now procrastination, that's a beast, right? Here's how I beat it. I use something called habit stacking. It's a concept from James Clear's book Atomic Habits. The idea is to pair your learning habit with something you already do. For example, if you drink coffee every morning, use that time to read an article or watch a short video. If you scroll your phone before bed, swap Instagram for a podcast. Trust me, once you attach learning to something you're already doing, it becomes second nature. Now the second one is overwhelm. If you're like me, sometimes you look at everything you want to learn and it just feels too much. Here's the trick. Shrink the goal. Now here's a bonus tip. Use tools like Pomodoro Timer to stay focused. Now, while the actual Pomodoro technique talks about 25 minutes of continuous learning or focus time followed by 5 minutes break and 4 rounds of these, you can make it smaller. You can do 15 minutes or 10 minutes and then stop, take a break. Knowing you only need to commit for a short time makes it so much easier to dive in. Alright, let's pull it all together. Here's the plan. Spend 5 minutes in the morning priming your mind. Use your lunch break or commute to dive deeper. End your day by practicing or reflecting on what you've already learned. And remember, you don't have to do it perfectly. Progress beats perfection every single time. Now here's my challenge for you. What's one skill you've been putting off because you thought you didn't have time? Pick that skill, commit to just 15 minutes a day for 1 week, and then come back to this video and tell me what you accomplished. I'd love to celebrate those wins with you. And before you go, check out this video on top 10 skills you need to succeed in 2025. It's packed with ideas to help you choose your next big focus. Let's make those 15 minutes count. See you in the next video. Thank you.